sino kaya ang kukumpleto doon sa pangalan na BJMP? Dahil nga kung titingnan nyo, di ba si Bong Revilla, B. Si Jingo Estrada, letter J. Si Marcoleta, letter M. So kulang na lang ng letter P. So sa palagay nyo, sino kaya yung kukumpleto sa pangalan na yan na susunod na maa-aresto mga kababayan na P yung pangalan or last name mga kababayan. So comment below na lamang po kung sino po sa inyong palagay yung susunod na maa-arestong senador. Comment below na lamang po kung ano po masasabi nyo, hingil po dyan. At ngayon punta naman po tayo dito naman po sa usapin ng impeachment. Kasi mga kababayan, eto na yung nagpapatunay na talagang fake news yung mga kumalat na balita noong mga nakaraang buwan na kung saan 'di ba kinain daw ng nilamon daw ng buhay na buhay etong si Congressman Luistro ng abogado ni Sara Duterte. At yung mga vlogger na nagpakalat niyan, ang karamihan po ay mga kaalyado ni LRY aka Small Boy at ni Sara Duterte. Kaya nga mga kababayan, sunod-sunod na pagkadismaya ang naranasan ni LRY aka Small Boy at ni Alpotera dahil nga yung kanilang inaasahan na sinasabing mga magagaling na abogado na magdidepensa kay Sara Duterte, unang sabak pa lang mga kababayan, pahiya na agad. Unang sabak pa lang, talagang masasabi po natin na napakahina ng depensa mga kababayan. So ngayon, eto, pakinggan po natin at dito makikita nyo kung bakit nga ba nadismaya ng matindi etong si LRY aka Small Boy at etong si Alpotera dahil po sa pinagsasasabi ng head legal counsel ni Sara Duterte mga kababayan or defense lawyer ni Sara Duterte dito sa first impeachment trial po niya dyan po sa Senado. So ito, i-play po natin.
Question, Your Honor, is very simple.
As I have
It's
mentioned,
answerable
Your
by
Honor.
Yes or no, Your Honor.
Rule
Is the
7,
lead prosecutor
Rule 9,
is the lead
Let this
prosecutor
not be a debate between the
requesting
councils.
for the respondent accused to
Counsel
be
for
arraigned, Your Honor?
respondent.
kapag nabibili ang katapatan, nawawala ang integridad. At kapag nabibili ang opisyal, nabubudol ang bayan.
Ang malinaw na layunin sa likod ng mga paratang na ito ay ang pagpapatalsik sa isang vice-presidenteng inihalal ng mahigit 32 milyong Pilipino at bunga ng kanilang malayang
Yan.
pagpapasya.
The prosecution asks only this. Look at the evidence. Listen to the witnesses. Examine the records. Follow the evidence wherever it leads. Judge this case. No
Kita nyo dito sa first speech nila o statement nila mga kababayan, may mapapansin kayo dito. Bukod dun sa kala nyo napakagaling ng abogado ni Sara Duterte, bukod dun sa parang bully yung abogado ni Sara Duterte, makikita nyo mga kababayan kung mapapansin nyo kung gaano kahina yung depensa po nila.
Not by politics, not by popularity, not by fear, not by loyalty.
Mahalagang tandaan ang mahigpit na paalala ng ating Korte Suprema. Impeachment is not a purely political proceeding. Kailangang naayon sa batas at konstitusyon ang anumang proseso nito.
Ay, kinay-credit natin to kay kay DAE News Philippines. Kanila po yan, hindi po yan natin gagawan lamang po natin ng reaction video. Anyway, shoutout po sa lahat. Thank you po sa mga nagla-like ng ating live streaming. Eto, tuloy na po natin.
At this juncture, the chair would like to direct the parties to prepare for their opening statements. We will start with the prosecution. May I know from the prosecution who will deliver the opening statement and from the response?
Eto, pakinggan nyo kung gaano kabigat yung mga open statement mga kababayan nitong prosecutor at nitong defense team ni Sara Duterte. Kasi dito nyo makikita kung gaano kahina yung depensa.
Who will deliver the opening statement? Under our rules, only one lawyer shall deliver the opening statement for either side. I presume Representative Luistra, you will deliver for the prosecution and for the on the part of the respondent?
I will deliver the opening statement for the defense, Your Honor.
Representative Luistro from the panel of prosecutors of the House of Representatives is now recognized to deliver her opening statement for the prosecution. You may proceed, ma'am, and you have 15 minutes.
Your Honor, before I proceed, the prosecution respectfully moves for the reading of the 4 articles of impeachment.
and the entry of the corresponding answer or plea for each article of impeachment, Your Honor.
Oh.
Your Honor, this is consistent to the Senate rules on impeachment, particularly Rule 7, Your Honor, the last paragraph of which mentions about failure to appear, failure of the lawyer to appear, and failure to file answer. There should be an entry of plea of not guilty. Likewise, Your Honor, under Rule 9 of the Senate Rule of an Impeachment, which says that the person impeached shall then be called to appear and answer the articles of impeachment against him or her. In this rule, Your Honor, it was likewise provided that the name of the person appearing in behalf of the respondent should be entered into the record. And by the answer, Your Honor, it is humbly believed that it pertains to the particular plea of whether guilty or not guilty of the respondent, Your Honor. Likewise, Your Honor, under Rule 21, Your Honor, the trial of all the articles of impeachment shall be completed before the senators vote on the final question of whether or not the impeachment is sustained. It is gleaned from this rules, Your Honor, that the senators will be voting on a per article basis, Your Honor. And that is why it is the humble submission of the prosecution that there should be reading of the article and entry of the particular plea per article, Your Honor. This likewise, Your Honor, manifests our complete adherence to the mandate of the Constitution sa pagbasa po ng mga artikulo ng impeachment at pagpapasok ng sagot ng respondent, maipakita po natin sa sambayanang Pilipino ang ating pagsunod sa mandato ng konstitusyon. Likewise, Your Honor, it upholds due process not only of the respondent but also of the Filipino people. Sa pagbasa po ng mga artikulo ng impeachment, she will be informed of the nature of the accusation against her bago pa po siya sumagot whether she is guilty or not guilty, Your Honor. Likewise, Your Honor, ang 4 na artikulo po ng impeachment ay nakabase sa iba't ibang alegasyon ng facts at iba't ibang nature of accusation or cause of action, Your Honor. And with that, Your Honor, it is perceived that there is a possibility that the plea of the respondent to each and every article will be different from one another, Your Honor. And lastly, Your Honor, this is consistent with the Senate rules on impeachment because the senator judges, the honorable senator judges, Your Honor, will be voting on a per article basis after the conclusion of the trial of this impeachment case, Your Honor.
The chair will respond unless the counsel for respondent would like to say something about the motion of the distinguished lead prosecutor.
Yes, Your Honor, may I comment?
The lead
before
may
the-
proceed.
Before the presiding officer can rule on the motion or request of the lead prosecutor. But before I give my comment, may I just clarify if the lead prosecutor is now making a motion to arraign the respondent accused.
Your Honor, whether this is arraignment or otherwise, the motion of the prosecution is very much consistent with the Senate rules on impeachment.
I think the question, Your Honor, is very simple.
As I have
It's
mentioned, Your
answerable by
Honor,
yes or no, Your Honor.
Rule
Is the
7,
lead prosecutor
Rule 9,
is the lead
Let this
prosecutor
not be a debate between the
requesting
councils.
for the respondent accused to
Counsel
be
for
arraigned, Your Honor?
respondent, kindly make your comments and avoid asking questions from the counsel for the prosecutor. We
Tama.
recognize the counsel for respondent for comments on the motion and the manifestations made by the lead prosecutor for the House. You may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. I believe I have a standing question to the lead prosecutor, and I would like to ask her for the legal basis for requiring the respondent to be arraigned today. Because, Your Honor, I note that in her request earlier and manifestations given for the respondent to be arraigned today, she cited Rule 7, Rule 9, and Rule 21. However, in Rule 7, it very clearly states that if the person impeached after service shall fail to appear either in person or by counsel on the day so fixed or appearing shall fail to file his answer to such articles of impeachment, the trial shall proceed nevertheless as upon a plea of not guilty. Well, this rule is
Hindi, ganito kasi mga kababayan eh. Kung titingnan nyo, kung wala naman talagang kasalanan si Sara Duterte, bakit matatakot siyang dumalo? Bakit matatakot siyang mag-appear mga kababayan dito po sa impeachment trial po niya mismo? Kung wala talaga siyang kasalanan. Pero kung titingnan nyo mga kababayan kahapon, unang simula ng trial ni Sara Duterte, wala po si Sara Duterte. Ibig sabihin, talagang yung sinasabi ni Sara Duterte ng bloodbath mga kababayan, tama yung sinasabi ni ni Attorney Kapunan na yung bloodbath naging bubble bath. Kasi nga, saglip na magkaroon ng tapang si Sara Duterte umatin dito, sino ba yung inaasahan niya lang? Yung mga abogado niya lang. Pero gaya nga ng sabi ko mga kababayan, kahit gaano kadami yung abogado mo dyan, kung wala yung presensya mo, parang baliwala rin. Ano po ngayon, ituloy pa natin.
Is clear. It does not talk about any arraignment. And if you take a look at this sentence, everything here has been satisfied. The respondent accused is here, has attended through counsel. She may not be in person, but the notice given to the defense is that she may appear through counsel.
Wala, takot yung client mo. Takot yung kliyente mo kaya hindi nag-appear dyan sa first trial niya, dyan sa Senado. Dahil kung wala talagang kinakatakutan at totoong matapang yung mga Duterte, kahit saan dalhin yan, kung wala naman talaga siyang ginawang kasalanan, mag-a-appear siya dyan. Kahit pasabihin na naandyan dyan kayo na mga abogado niya para ipresenta siya. Siya mismo ang magpipresenta sa kanyang sarili, kung wala siyang kasalanan, na pumunta ng Senado at mag-appear sa kanyang unang trial.
Second thing is that the respondent accused was also able to file her answer. And so Rule 7 does not support the request of the lead prosecutor that the respondent accused be arraigned today. Now, on the matter
Baba.
of Article 9,
Ang hina ng argument, mga kababayan, no? Ang hina ng depensa.
counsel also say that the person impeached shall then be called to appear and answer the articles of impeachment against him or her. And if he or she appears, or any person for him or her, the appearance shall be recorded, stating particularly if by himself or by agent or counsel, naming the person appearing in the capacity in which or he appears. If he or she does not appear, either personally or by agent or counsel, the same shall be recorded. And for all intents and purposes, respondent is present today through counsel. There is also nothing in Rule 9 that requires the reading of a 23-page articles of impeachment, which will be a waste of judicial time. Finally, under Rule 21, Your Honor, may I just correct the manifestation earlier by counsel, because it would seem to me, unless a reading of the transcript would say that I'm mistaken, but I seem to have heard the lead prosecutor claim that the voting on the articles of impeachment will be per article. Well, that's true, but the first sentence of Rule 21 says, the trial of all the articles of impeachment shall first be completed before the senators vote on the final question on whether or not the impeachment is sustained. Now, honestly, I do not see how Rule 21 is related to the motion now being requested or propounded by the lead prosecutor. And at any rate, Your Honor, given that the respondent is represented by her counsel today, and this is consistent, her appearance is consistent with the notice given and in accordance with the rules on rules of procedure of this court, then we can enter her plea on her behalf.
The arguments of the parties are duly noted. Chair will now make its ruling. The articles of impeachment were deemed read and spread into the records when it was referred by the Senate to the Committee on Justice for the proper issuance of summons. And a plea of not guilty will only be entered in accordance with our rules in behalf of the Vice President if she does not file an answer. But in this case, she has filed an answer and in fact has appeared through counsel. Insofar as the reading of the articles of impeachment is concerned, it will be done at the final resolution of this case when it is put to a vote by the senator judges, where each article of impeachment will be read before a vote shall be taken thereon. For those reasons, the motion is denied, and the lead prosecutor, Representative Luistro, may proceed with her opening statement.
Yan.
Kindly be mindful
Yan.
of the clock. And before recognizing you, ma'am, may I remind the counsels for the parties to kindly address the chair with respect to anything and everything they want or wish to say before the court, and not to address each other. The lady may proceed. Representative Luistro, you're recognized, and you have 15 minutes for your opening remarks.
We thank the court, Your Honor.
Mr.
Eto mga kababayan dito natin makikita kung gaano kalapok o gaano kahina yung depensa nung legal defense ni Sara Duterte. Ano po, kasi matitindi yung aalpasang salita dito o pakakawalang salita ni Congresswoman Luistro. Eto, i-play natin.
Mr. Presiding Officer, the Honorable Cheese Escudero, the Honorable Senate President, Honorable Win Gatchalian, sa atin pong mga kagalang-galang na Senator Judges, mga minamahal na kababayan, sa loob ng bulwagan o sa labas man, mga nakatutok sa telebisyon, sa cellphone o sa radyo, saang sulok man ng mundo,
Ano yung sabi dito? Hindi po ako nagbe-vape pag nagbablog. Sama na nga ng pakiramdam ko, hindi po ako nagbe-vape.
kayo naroroon. Maraming Pilipino ang nagtatanong ngayon, bakit mahalaga ang paglilitis na ito? Ano ang kaugnayan nito sa buhay ng ordinaryong Pilipino? Lubos po naming nauunawaan ang mga tanong na yan. Sa katunayan, may isang driver na nagtatanong, paano sasapat ang kita sa pasada
Tama.
upang mapakain niya ang kanyang pamilya? May isang OFW na nagtatanong, hanggang kailan kailangan lumayo upang mapaaral niya ang kanyang mga anak?
Ay, shoutout kay Pascachi ha. Thank you sa pakape ha. Maraming salamat. Shoutout din sa asawa mo ha.
May isang guro na nagtatanong, paano pagkakasyahin ang kanyang sahod sa dami ng utang na hinuhulugan?
Tama.
May isang manggagawa na nagtatanong, hanggang kailan magtitiis sa pansamantalang trabaho at kakarampot na sweldo? Sa unang tingin, maaring sabihin na malayo sa buhay nila ang paglilitis na ito. Ngunit hindi. Hindi po. Sapagkat ang usapin ngayon ay patungkol sa isang bagay na pag-aari nilang lahat. Ang kanilang pera, ang kanilang tiwala, ang kanilang karapatan na maningil ng pananagutan mula sa mga pinuno na kanilang pinagkatiwalaan. Kapag ang isang empleyado ay nagkamali ng paggamit ng pera ng kumpanya, siya ay pinagpapaliwanag.
Tama.
Kapag ang isang barangay treasurer hindi may paliwanag ang nawawalang pondo, siya ay iniimbestigahan. Kapag ang isang principal ay naglustay ng pera ng bayan, kahit 5,000 lang yan, siya ay pinaparusahan. Natural lamang na magtanong ang sambayanan kung ang ordinaryong Pilipino ay pinapanagot. Bakit hindi ang pinakamakapangyarihan na opisyal ng pamahalaan? Ito ang dahilan kung bakit mahalaga ang paglilitis na ito. Hindi upang usigin ang isang tao, hindi upang maghiganti sa kalaban, hindi upang manalo sa politika, kundi upang sagutin ang isang tanong na napakahalaga sa kinabukasan ng ating republika. May saysay pa ba ang pananagutan sa ating bansa? Sapagkat ang kasong ito ay higit at lampas sa sino mang opisyal. Higit at lampas sa anumang partido. Higit at lampas sa alinmang administrasyon. Your Honors, the framers of the Constitution understood that there may come a day when extraordinary power would be entrusted to extraordinary office. They also understood that there may come a day when trust would be broken. And that is why they gave the House of Representatives the power to impeach and the Senate the duty to judge.
Tama.
Not to punish political opponents, not to settle political scores, but to protect the republic itself. That is why the Constitution declares public office is a public trust.
Tama.
Ang kapangyarihan ay hindi pag-aari ng sino mang opisyal. Hiram lamang ito sa taong bayan. At ito ang dahilan kung bakit naririto tayo ngayon. Your Honors, the prosecution will present exactly what the Constitution requires. Evidence. Hindi chismis. Hindi haka-haka. Hindi propaganda. At lalong hindi SOCMED narrative. Evidence. Official records. Financial documents. Government reports. Video recording. Statements under oath. Independent findings of institutions created by law. Mga dokumento na hindi bumoboto. Mga records na walang partido. Mga katotohanan na walang kulay pampolitika. Sa unang tingin, maaring magmukhang magkakahiwalay ang 4 articles of impeachment. Confidential fund, unexplained wealth, bribery and corruption, threat against constitutional order. But these are not 4 separate stories. These are 4 chapters of the same story. Story about power exercised without accountability. Story about public trust betrayed. Story about public office that stopped answering to the public. On the first article of impeachment, the evidence will show that more than 612 million pesos in confidential fund entrusted to the office of the Vice President and the Department of Education were disbursed, transferred, and liquidated under circumstances that cannot withstand scrutiny. 612 million pesos. Hindi ito pera ng gobyerno. Pera ito ng sambayanan. Pera ng manggagawa. Pera ng magsasaka. Pera ng OFW. Pera ng guro. Pera ng bawat Pilipino na nagbabayad ng buwis at nagtitiwala na gagamitin ito ng tama.
Tama.
The evidence will show liquidation reports supported by questionable documents. The evidence will show acknowledgement receipts bearing names government records could not verify. Names that transformed accountability into a mockery. Pananagutan na naging kalokohan. Names that insulted the intelligence of the Filipino people. Mary Grace Piatos, Milky Sikuya, Kokoy Villamin. On the second article of impeachment, the evidence will show financial transactions involving billions of pesos associated with the respondent and her husband. Billions. Hindi milyon, bilyon. At habang milyon-milyong Pilipino ang nagtratrabaho at nag-iipon buong buhay upang magkaroon ng sariling bahay, makapagpaaral ng mga anak, magkaroon ng kaunting seguridad para sa pamilya. Aba, bilyon-bilyong piso ang dumaan sa mga bank accounts na hindi maipaliwanag ng maayos.
Ito nga yung pinakamasakit mga kababayan Kung iisipin nyo ha, ito yung pinakamasakit na ginawa ni Sara Duterte sa mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Habang isinisigaw nila sa mga rally, mga protesta, at sinasabi ng mga kaalyado nila na yung ginagawa nila ay para sa bayan, kung iisipin yung mabuti mga kababayan, yung mga nabubulgar ngayon, o mga lumalabas patungkol kay Sara Duterte, lalo na yung bilyones na pumapasok at lumalabas na pera sa kanyang bank account, dun yung maiisip na habang kinukonvert pala kayo sa salitang ang ginagawa nila ay para sa bayan, ninanakawan pala ang mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Ninanakawan ng kinabukasan ang mamamayang Pilipino. Diba? Biruin nyo. Habang tayo nag-iisip kung paano mabubuhay sa pang-araw-araw, habang yung mga kababayang Pilipino po natin na nasa laylayan, nag-iisip kung paano kikita ng pera para buhayin ang kanilang pamilya, kikita ng pera para makapag-ipon at makapagpagawa ng bahay, yung mga politiko na katulad ni Sara Duterte, ninanakaw lang yung pera ng sambayan ng Pilipino na makakatulong sana ng malaki para sa kinabukasan ng mga kababayang Pilipino po natin. Diyan pa lang makikita nyo kung paano tayo binitray ni Sara Duterte, kung paano niya tinraidor ang mamamayang Pilipino. Kaya dapat talaga ma-impeach po yan. Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
This article is not about wealth. This is about accountability. This is about explanation. If wealth was lawfully acquired, where is the lawful explanation? If transactions were proper, where is the complete accounting? If numbers truly add up, then why do they refuse to reconcile? On the third article of impeachment, the evidence will show bribery, graft, and corruption through the distribution of cash payments and monetary gifts to officials under the supervision of the Republic. This article is not simply about envelopes. This is about institution. This is about whether loyalty was purchased rather than earned. Government cannot function if loyalty is purchased instead of earned. Kapag nabibili ang katapatan, nawawala ang integridad. At kapag nabibili ang opisyal, nabubudol ang bayan.
Tama!
Perhaps the greatest tragedy is where the conduct allegedly occurred. In the Department of Education. Tama po sa DepEd. The institution entrusted with teaching future generations honesty, responsibility, integrity. On the fourth article of impeachment, the evidence will show culpable violation of the Constitution, high crime, betrayal of public trust, through conduct that threatens constitutional order. Among all allegations before this court, none strikes more directly at the heart of constitutional order than this one. Ito na po ang pinakamatindi. And unlike in many cases, which depends upon competing accounts, this evidence
come substantially from the respondents' own recorded public statements.
Yan. Ito mga kababayan, dito talaga durog na durog si Sara Duterte. Pati yung legal counsel niya, yung defense team, durog na durog po dito.
The court will see them. The court will hear them. The court will judge them. Public officials may disagree. We may criticize one another. They may compete fiercely for power. That is democracy. But democracy ends when violence begins.
Tama.
Sa kasaysayan ng ating republika, walang vice presidente na may kaibigan na hitman.
Oh,
Ngayon lang,
tama.
walang vice presidente na nagpapapatay ng Pangulo.
Mm.
Ngayon lang. Walang vice presidente na handang magpapatay para lamang makaupo sa pwesto. Ngayon lang. The
Diba?
Constitution provides many means on how to resolve political conflict. Election, legislation, public debate, judicial review, and even impeachment. But it does not permit threats. It does not permit violence. It does not permit people entrusted with power to place themselves above constitutional restraints. Your Honors, at the center of this case lies a simple question, perhaps the most important to any republic. When the people entrust power to a public official, does the public official remain accountable to the people? Or do the people become accountable to the public official? The Constitution's answer is very clear. Power belongs to the people. Public office is merely borrowed. And every borrowed power carries with it the obligation to account for its use.
يلا
اوكي
على كاتشب لا هذا صب
If a barangay treasurer must account for public fund, then so must the vice president. If an ordinary public servant can be investigated, then so can the highest officials of the government. If ordinary citizen is expected to obey the rules, then surely those who govern them must obey them first. Otherwise, what lessons do we teach our children? That there is law for the powerful and another for everyone else? That accountability exists only for the weak? That public office grants immunity against accountability? Your Honors, this is not the republic envisioned by the Constitution. This is not the republic deserved by the Filipino people. Therefore, the prosecution asks only this. Look at the evidence. Listen to the witnesses. Examine the records. Follow the evidence wherever it leads. Judge this case, not by politics, not by popularity.
Sa poll din dyan mga kababayan yung mga senador na kaalyado ni Sara Duterte. Kasi nga naman mga kababayan, ang hinihiling lang naman ng prosecutor mga kababayan dito or ng mga congressman na tumatayong prosecutor dito sa impeachment trial ni Sara Duterte, tingnan ng ebidensya, pakinggan yung mga witnesses mga kababayan at dapat maging fair yung mga senator judge, lalo na yung mga kaalyado ni Sara Duterte.
Not by fear, not by loyalty. Judge this case by the Constitution. Judge this case by the evidence. Years from now, future generations will not remember today's political alliances. They will not remember today's headlines. They will not remember today's slogans. What they will remember is when accountability was tested, the institutions of the republic stood firm. They will remember only one thing: what this court did when the Constitution called. Future generations will not ask how powerful the respondent was. They will not ask how loud the political debate became. But they will ask one thing: when the Constitution called, did the Republic answer? Your Honors, this is that moment. This is the moment the Constitution anticipated. This is the moment when accountability must mean exactly what it says. This is the moment when public office must truly remain a public trust.
Oh.
This is the moment when the Republic must demonstrate that laws are applied equally to the powerful and the powerless alike. At matapos marinig ang mga saksi, matapos masuri ang mga dokumento, matapos matimbang lahat ng ebidensya, ang prosekusyon ay naniniwala at naninindigan. Isa lamang ang maliwanag na konklusyon. Ang tiwalang ipinagkaloob ay nilabag.
Oh.
Ang kapangyarihang ipinahiram ay inabuso.
Oh.
At ang konstitusyon mismo ang humihingi ng pananagutan. Amid the clarity of the mandate of the Constitution, political noise continues. Political squabbles continues. Political division continues. Please, let me conclude. Salus populi est suprema lex. The welfare of the people is the supreme law. Thank you, Your Honor.
The opening remarks of the prosecution through the lead counsel is duly noted. Opening remarks for the respondent.
Yan na.
Counsel for respondent has 15 minutes and we will give you the same latitude we gave. Counsel for the prosecution for an additional 3 minutes should you so need it. You may proceed, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honors, fellow Filipinos, good afternoon. As we begin today the impeachment trial of the Vice President, and in the days ahead, this court will undertake its constitutional task of receiving and weighing the party's evidence, and ultimately to decide whether these pieces of evidence justify either a judgment of conviction or acquittal, guided only by its members' conscience and their solemn oath to do impartial justice. The present undertaking of this court, therefore, not only carries the weight of the Constitution, but also the imprint of our nation's history, because the Filipino people have shown that they never forget. We, as a nation, never forget. But why is the act of remembering important? What does it matter to our history and to ordinary Filipinos? Because in this trial, the prosecution proposes that we unseat the Vice President elected to office by more than 32 million Filipino people.
Eh ano naman? Ano naman kung binoto siya ng 32 million people? Eh yung sinasabi mong 32 million, mga nabudol yung karamihan doon. 'Di ba? Alam nyo mga kababayan, ganito lang yan eh. Hindi porket ibinoto siya ng 32 million, ay hindi na po siya papapanagutin. Pag gumawa siya ng hindi maganda, o pag ninakawan niya ang mamamayang Pilipino, or kapag nagnakaw siya ng pondo ng bayan. Tandaan nyo po hindi na susukat sa dami ng boto ang pagpapanagot sa isang public official. Kapag ikaw ay may ginawang kasalanan at ikaw ay napatunayang nalabag mo yung kasalanan na yon, or halimbawa mga kababayan, kapag napatunayan may nalabag ka, lalo na't nagnakaw ka ng pera ng taong bayan, dapat kang managot. Hindi mo pwedeng gamiting lisensya na binoto ka ng 32 million para para hindi ka managot. Diba mga kababayan? Eh ano naman pakialam natin kung binoto siya ng 32 million na tao. Eh ang pinag-uusapan ngayon, pananagutan niya. Dahil nga, sinira niya ang tiwala ng mamamayang Pilipino. Dapat nga, mahiya pa siya eh. Dapat nga, di na nila binabanggit yung 32 million. Kasi yung 32 million na yon ay ninakawan at sinira ang tiwala ng ating sinira ang tiwala ng 32 million na tao na yon ni Sara Duterte. Ano po kaya dapat talaga siyang managot? Anyway, ituloy pa natin.
More than the number of votes cast for the sitting president, and much greater than any of the votes secured by each of the members of the House of Representatives who now are here to prosecute her and seek to undo this people's choice. Sa makatwid, ang malinaw na layunin sa likod ng mga paratang na ito ay ang pagpapatalsik sa isang vice-presidenteng inihalal ng mahigit 32 milyong Pilipino at bunga ng kanilang malayang pagpapasya.
Kasi mga kababayan, alam nyo kung bakit ko nasabing mahina yung depensa dito? Ang inaasahan natin dito, sasabihin nilang inosente si Sara Duterte at walang kasalanan si Sara Duterte. At babanggitin nila yung mga depensa nila kung bakit inosente at walang kasalanan. etong si Sara Duterte. Hindi yung babanggitin mo kung gaano karami yung bumoto, kung bakit siya nakaharap sa ganitong klase ng usapin na para bang ang dating pinupolitika siya. Maliwanag nga na dumaan niya sa due process eh. Dapat ang gagawin dito ng legal team o legal defense ni Sara Duterte, mga kababayan, ipiplead nila, mga kababayan, na walang kasalanan at inosente si Sara Duterte. At babanggitin nila yung mga depensa nila kung bakit nga ba inosente etong si Sara Duterte. Yan yung inaasahan natin dyan. Pero wala eh. Ano yung depensa dito kung bakit mahina? Porkit ibinoto siya ng 32 million, dapat hindi na siya managot? Diba? Anyway, tuloy pa natin.
Whatever one's political persuasion is, the reality is that the prosecution now comes before this court to remove a vice president chosen by an overwhelming number of the electorate. You all have heard the prosecution say repeatedly that this is because they seek accountability, that the people have a right to hold their leaders accountable. This is not a matter of debate. Indeed, the people have a right to demand accountability from their leaders. What we have yet to hear from the prosecution, however, is this. When the Constitution declared under Section 1, Article 11, that public office is a public trust and that public officers and employees must at all times be accountable to the people, serve them with utmost responsibility, integrity, loyalty, and efficiency, act with patriotism and justice, and lead modest lives, the Constitution does not only speak to the Vice President. It also demands the same standards from the prosecutors.
Connect with like-minded.
Sinarahan pa yung prosecutors, mga kababayan. Diba? Anyway, tuloy pa natin. Thank you sa mga naglalik na live streaming
Public officers themselves, the public prosecutors, and the members of the House of Representatives are also held to the same constitutional standard. And so we must remember what history tells us. This is not the first time that members of the House of Representatives have attempted to remove the Vice President and in a manner not compliant with the Constitution.
Parang ang dating dito, mga kababayan, sinisipa ang Kongreso. Sinisipa ang House Prosecutors, mga kababayan, kung bakit matatanggal sa pwesto itong si Sara Duterte. Kung titingnan nyo, mga kababayan, mandato ng Kongreso na kapag may isang public official o isang vice presidente o isang impeachable official na sinampahan ng impeachment, obligado talaga ang Kongreso na gampanan ang kanilang trabaho bilang isa sa mga pangunahin, mga kababayan, na tumatalakay dito po sa usapin ng impeachment ng isang impeachable official. Parang ang dating dito sa sinabi ng defense team ni Sara Duterte, kasalanan pa ng Kongreso kung bakit nila tinrabaho yung impeachment ni Sara Duterte.
In a July 25, 2025 decision, the Supreme Court unanimously declared in Duterte versus House of Representatives, GR numbers 278353 and 278359, that the impeachment proceedings in the House of Representatives were tainted with grave abuse of discretion, rendering the articles of impeachment that the House transmitted last year to the Senate as void ab initio.
Wala na yan eh. Yung usapin na yan, mga kababayan, wala na. Kaya nga kung titingnan ninyo, kaya naman nagkaroon ng problema ng una, kasi nga, mga kababayan, sinasabi na nalabag yung 1-year ban rule, mga kababayan, dito po sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte dyan sa Kamara. Ngayon kung titingnan nyo, di ba tapos na yung 1-year ban rule, kaya nga kung mapapansin nyo, nakapagsampa ng panibagong impeachment complaint na gumulong nga, mga kababayan, kaya na-impeach itong si Sara Duterte dyan po sa Kamara. At kaya dumating sa point na ito ngayon na may trial na sa Senado. So yung binabanggit po dito nitong legal team o defense team ni Sara Duterte, wala na po yan. Di po ba? Wala na po yung usapin na yan.
Early this year, the Supreme Court unanimously denied with finality the House of Representatives' motion for reconsideration of that decision, with a reminder that while impeachment is a powerful democratic process to call out corruption and grave abuse, impeachment can be abused, and that impeachment should never be abused to maintain the hegemonic dominance of greed by shaming those who occupy high government positions into preventing them from doing what they were sworn to do. But perhaps the most enduring reminder of the Supreme Court that we must not forget in the entire course of this trial is that, in the words of the court, the rule of law that does justice is our lodestar.
Mm.
and that justice includes accountability.
Eto, hanapin nyo mga kababayan kung saan part sasabihin ng defense team ni Sara Duterte na inosente si Sara Duterte at ito yung mga dahilan kung bakit inosente siya. Hanapin nyo dito sa kanilang opening statement.
Justice includes fairness. Without fairness, there is abuse. This fairness is what our democracy is all about. It is in light of these reminders that we draw attention to certain fundamental legal principles that we think we must not forget throughout this trial. Mga batayang prinsipyo na dapat nating tandaan sa buong panahon ng paglilitis na ito, anuman ang ating kulay o politika. If we are to be true and honest to our proclaimed values, such as the pursuit of accountability, justice, and integrity in our system of government, then we must remain possessed of an unyielding resolve to ensure that the trial and judgment in this case are done in accordance with the command of the Constitution, the majesty of the law, and the discipline required by the rules. Otherwise, those who stand in sanctimonious judgment of the Vice President will send a clear message that the law can be bent when it suits the convenience of the powerful, and that justice can be sacrificed at the altar of partisan interests. Mahalagang tandaan ang mahigpit na paalala ng ating Korte Suprema. Impeachment is not a purely political proceeding. It is primarily a legal, political, and constitutional mechanism. Ibig sabihin, kailangang naayon sa batas at konstitusyon ang anumang proseso nito.
Naayon naman sa batas at konstitusyon mga kababayan Di ba kung titingnan nyo, dumaan nga sa tamang proseso yung impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Kaya wala ako nakikitang mali sa ginawa ng Kamara at wala din ako nakikitang mali dito po mga kababayan sa pagsasagawa ng trial dyan po sa Senado. Ibig sabihin, nasa tamang proseso ang tinatahak na landas ng impeachment ni Sara Duterte ngayon. Ang mali lang dito mga kababayan ay yung hindi pagsipot ni Sara Duterte.
According to the Constitution, it is the Senate that shall have the sole power to try and decide all cases of impeachment. This power is not shared. The Constitution gives no other body, department, tribunal, agency, or a mere committee of any of these institutions the power to try an impeachment case. The House merely initiates, the Senate tries. Yet, we have seen the Committee on Justice conduct what its chairperson, the lead prosecutor in this case, described as a mini trial, which, as we all had witnessed, became a vast fishing
Ayon yung accusation nila na nagsagawa daw ang Kamara ng mini trial mga kababayan at fishing expedition. Yan yung accusation nila nung una.
expedition of alleged evidence that were not even part of the impeachment complaints under its consideration and which the respondent accused was made to answer. In that mini trial, we saw how the purported pieces of evidence were curated to construct a narrative against the Vice President even before this case reaches trial. The articles of impeachment presented before this court as an exercise of the House's power to initiate impeachment cases are therefore, in sober truth, the product of an impermissible intrusion of clear constitutional boundaries. Over the course of the impeachment trial, the prosecution will attempt to convince this court and the court of public opinion that the allegations in the articles of impeachment are supported by materials they obtained during their mini trial and that evidence exists to sustain a judgment of conviction. They will claim that the notices of suspension and disallowance issued by the COA and the COA decision denying the Vice President's appeal of that disallowance support their accusations with the release of that decision by the COA conveniently timed and coinciding with the committee hearings. They will claim that the certifications of the PSA confirm their allegation that recipients of the confidential funds do not exist, even though they listed one Mary Grace Piatos in their pre-trial brief as among their witnesses, or that the liquidation of the confidential funds in a span of 11 days was allegedly swift as to invite suspicion. The prosecution will assert that the supposed NBI findings of similar signatures across a number of acknowledgement receipts submitted to the COA are supportive of their conclusion that the disbursements of the confidential funds were irregular. What the prosecution avoided informing the public so far are these: that it was the then Secretary of the Department of Budget and Management, Amena Pangandaman, who issued a memorandum for the President through Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin on October 18, 2022, recommending the approval of the Office of the Vice President's request for confidential funds.
Mm.
That the Office of the President did in fact approve that recommendation of the DBM through a memorandum from the Executive Secretary dated November 28, 2022, and signed by the former Executive Secretary Lucas Bersamin by order of the President. That on December 13, 2022, the DBM issued a special allotment order number SARO-BMB-C-22-001-2004, signed by former Secretary Amena Pangandaman to cover the request of financial assistance, subsidy, and confidential funds of the OVP that, notwithstanding the impending end of the fiscal year, the confidential funds were nonetheless released to the OVP on December 20, 2022 under this documented approval process. That the COA decision is far from being final, that there is a pending motion for reconsideration of that decision, that, assuming arguendo, the COA denies that MR today, or while this trial is ongoing, as could plausibly happen under the circumstances, the respondent accused still has legal remedies available under the law and rules and can file a petition to question the validity of any forthcoming resolution of the COA on the MR under Rule 64 via petition for certiorari under Rule 65 of the Rules of Court. And more importantly, that nothing in the notice of disallowance or COA decision states any findings of supposed misuse of confidential funds as confirmed by Attorney Gloria Camora when she was asked on this point during the committee hearing on April 14, 2026. Across all other articles, the prosecution will lay a landscape of what it deems to be their evidence in support of their speculations and conclusions.
Ah.
We are not strangers to all these accusations precisely because this was not the first time these narratives were foisted into the minds of the general public. We have heard the same tales and stories of these accusations since 2024, when the House conducted its Quadcom hearings and most recently the mini trial of its Committee on Justice. But what we must not forget,
Hindi mga kababayan pwedeng tawagin na mini trial yun eh. Sila lang kasi nagbansag noon. Accusation nila yon na yun daw ginawa ng Committee on Justice nung tinatalakay yung impeachment ni Sara Duterte. Mini trial daw po yun. Pero maliwanag naman eh na kailangan gawin yon ng Committee on Justice dahil nga sumusunod sila sa tamang proseso. Ngayon naman mga kababayan, kung titingnan po natin, yung mga nagdaang hearing lalo na noong 2024 na kung saan nabuking itong si Sara Duterte dahil hindi nga masagot kung saan dinala yung pera ng mamamayang Pilipino, ang may kasalanan po niyan si Sara Duterte mismo. Si Sara Duterte mismo nagpahamak sa kanyang sarili dahil ayaw niyang sagutin kung saan niya dinala ang pera ng taong bayan, kung saan niya inubos yung 125 million pesos sa loob ng 11 days.
amid all these accusations, is the fundamental legal principle that the burden of proof never shifts. The burden of proof never shifts. He who accuses must prove his allegations with evidence that meets not only the degree of proof required, but also meets the evidentiary standards of admissibility, credibility, relevance, materiality, and competence. We therefore should not lose sight of the core principle that the burden of proof is on the prosecution, and unless it discharges that burden, the accused need not even offer evidence on her behalf, and she will be entitled to an acquittal. This is the law then. This is the law now. And the underlying principle for this burden of proof is simple. Under our Constitution, every accused is presumed innocent until proven otherwise.
Ah,
An accused has in
Tama.
her favor the presumption of innocence, which the Bill of Rights guarantees. This also brings to fore the reality that, in the words of the Supreme Court in People versus Pagal, the individual citizen is but a speck of particle or molecule vis-a-vis the vast and overwhelming powers of government, and his only guarantee against oppression and tyranny are his fundamental liberties under the Bill of Rights, which shield him in times of need. Sa madaling salita, kinikilala ng ating saligang batas na sa bawat paglilitis, ang isang individual ay nahaharap sa malalim at napakalaking makinarya ng buong Estado. At ang tanging sandigan lamang niya laban sa anumang pang-aabuso ng kapangyarihan ay ang kanyang mga batayang karapatan sa ilalim ng ating konstitusyon. Kaya't mahalagang linawin na sa gitna ng pagtatangkang ikondisyon ang kaisipan ng mamamayang Pilipino at sa gitna ng walang humpay na komentaryo sa mga pampublikong espasyo, wala pang maituturing na anumang ebidensya o aligasyon na napapatunayan ng prosekusyon sa simpleng dahilan na ang bawat ebidensya ay kailangang dumaan muna sa paglilitis at pagsusuri ng korteng may tanging kapangyarihan sa ilalim ng ating salikang batas.
Yun nga mga kababayan. Tama din naman yung sinasabi dito nung defense team ni Sara Duterte. Pero ang hinihintay kasi ng mga kababayang Pilipino natin, alam kong hinihintay ninyo ang idiin nila na inosente si Sara Duterte. Ang sabihin nila na inosente itong aming kliyente dahil ganito. Yung aligasyon sa kanya na ganito, ganyan, ganito, ganyan. Walang basihan at walang katotohanan yan. Tapos maglalabas sila ng mga patunay na walang basihan talaga at walang katotohanan yon. Kaso wala eh. Diba mga kababayan, walang pagdidinay at walang kung makikita ninyo dito, hindi nila sinabi na inosente si Sara Duterte dahil sa mga dahilang ganito. Wala ditong sinabi yung defense team ni Sara Duterte.
Higit sa lahat, ang anumang paglilitis ay kailangang naayon sa itinatakda ng ating batas at konstitusyon at hindi lamang sa kagustuhan ng iilang may hawak ng kapangyarihan. One might ask, why is it important that we must not forget these basic principles? The ruling of the Supreme Court tells us why. The Bill of Rights applies to the entire impeachment process because inasmuch as our court recognizes that impeachment is a political process, it reminds us that it is not a purely political process but a legal and constitutional mechanism. Thus, if we are to uphold the rule of law, serve justice, and invoke the accountability mechanism, then this court and we as a people must guarantee that all efforts to hold our leaders accountable must be done right. This we must not forget. I thank the court and the public for the privilege of your time. May God bless our country.
Ayan Diba mga kababayan?
Listen to our memories.
Napakahina ng depensa ng legal team o legal defense ni Sara Duterte. Dahil kung titingnan nyo mga kababayan, saglip na ang ipagduldulan nila dito o ipagdiinan nila dito ay inosente si Sara Duterte dahil sa mga garitong ganyan o papatunayan nila, ilalathala nila kung bakit para sa kanila inosente itong si Sara Duterte, wala tayong nakitang pagdideny. Diba? Wala tayong nakitang pagdideny base sa mga aligasyon ni base sa mga aligasyon laban kay Sara Duterte. So dito pa lang mga kababayan, hindi na rin nakakapagtaka kung bakit sinasabi ni Prof. Antonio Contreras na mahina talaga, weak talaga yung depensa mga kababayan nitong legal defense ni Sara Duterte dahil nga maliwanag mga kababayan na ang pinaka nag-highlight lang doon sa sinabi ay kaya daw si Sara Duterte ay ginaganon dahil nga ibinoto daw ng 32 million na tao at kaya daw si Sara Duterte ay ini-impeach mga kababayan ay dahil gustong mapatalsik itong tao na ito sa kanyang pwesto. Pero maliwanag naman na talagang matibay ang mga ebidensya, mga dokumento na may ginawa talaga si Sara Duterte mga kababayan na hindi kaaya-aya kaya dapat po talaga siyang ma-impeach. Katulad na lamang ng pagnanakaw ng pera ng mga kababayang Pilipino po natin at hindi may paliwanag na tagong yaman. Mga kababayan, ano po? So kayo, kung kayong tatanungin, ano po masasabi nyo, hingil po dito sa mainit na banggaan mga kababayan ni Congresswoman Luistro na tumatayo bilang lead prosecutor sa impeachment ni Sara Duterte at detong defense team mga kababayan ni Sara Duterte. So comment below na lamang po kung ano po masasabi nyo, hingil po dyan.